The first thing you have to know is yourself. A man who knows himself can step outside himself and watch his own reactions like an observer. All money is a matter of belief. The real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. Labor was the first price, the original purchase, money that was paid for all things. It was not by gold or by silver, but by labor, that all wealth of the world was originally purchased. Happiness never lays its finger on its pulse. Humanity is the virtue of a woman, generosity that of a man. Never complain of that, of which it is at all times in your power to rid yourself. On the road from the city of skepticism, I had to pass through the valley of ambiguity. The propensity to truck, barter and exchange one thing for another is common to all men, and to be found in no other race of animals. With the greater part of rich people, the chief enjoyment of riches consists in the parade of riches. No complaint is more common than that of a scarcity of money. What can be added to the happiness of a man who is in health, out of debt, and has a clear conscience? Adventure upon all the tickets in the lottery, and you lose for certain, and the greater the number of your tickets the nearer your approach to this certainty. Great ambition, the desire of real superiority, of leading and directing, seems to be altogether peculiar to man, and speech is the great instrument of ambition. Resentment seems to have been given us by nature for a defense, and for a defense only. It is the safeguard of justice and the security of innocence. The real and effectual discipline which is exercised over a workman is that of his customers. It is the fear of losing their employment which restrains his frauds and corrects his negligence. I have never known much good done by those who affected to trade for the public good. This is one of those cases in which the imagination is baffled by the facts. Little else is requisite to carry a state to the highest degree of opulence from the lowest barbarism but peace, easy taxes, and a tolerable administration of justice, all the rest being brought about by the natural course of things. Labor was the first price, the original purchase, money that was paid for all things. The theory that can absorb the greatest number of facts, and persist in doing so, generation after generation, through all changes of opinion and detail, is the one that must rule all observation. Nothing is more graceful than habitual cheerfulness. No society can surely be flourishing and happy of which by far the greater part of the numbers are poor and miserable. It is not very unreasonable that the rich should contribute to the public expense, not only in proportion to their revenue, but something more than in that proportion. A merchant, it has been said very properly, is not necessarily the citizen of any particular country. It appears, accordingly, from the experience of all ages and nations, I believe, that the work done by freemen comes cheaper in the end than that performed by slaves. The world neither ever saw, nor ever will see, a perfectly fair lottery. Virtue is more to be feared than vice, because its excesses are not subject to the regulation of conscience. People of the same trade seldom meet together, even for merriment and diversion, but the conversation ends in a conspiracy against the public, or in some contrivance to raise prices. How selfish soever man may be supposed, there are evidently some principles in his nature, which interest him in the fortune of others, and render their happiness necessary to him, though he derives nothing from it, except the pleasure of seeing it. Goods can serve many other purposes besides purchasing money, but money can serve no other purpose besides purchasing goods. The division of labor was limited by the extent of the market. The problem with fiat money is that it rewards the minority that can handle money, but fools the generation that has worked and saved money. An instructed and intelligent people are always more decent and orderly than an ignorant and stupid one. It is unjust that the whole of society should contribute towards an expense of which the benefit is confined to a part of the society. Corn is a necessary, silver is only a superfluity. Every man lives by exchanging. problems worthy of attacks, prove their worth by hitting back. The learned ignore the evidence of their senses to preserve the coherence of the ideas of their imagination. Individual ambition serves the common good. It was not by gold or by silver, but by labor, that all the wealth of the world was originally purchased. What is the work of one man, in a rude state of society, being generally that of several in an improved one? In the common degree of the moral, there is no virtue. Virtue is excellence. When our passive feelings are almost always so sordid and so selfish, how comes it that our active principles should often be so generous and so noble? When profit diminishes, merchants are very apt to complain that trade decays, though the diminution of profit is the natural effect of its prosperity, or of a greater stock being employed in it than before.